Ladies and gentlemen, this is not an April Fool's joke. This is Mickey Clayton, the coach, with the women's volleyball coach from Claflin. Y'all know her simply as Coach Shy. You probably remember her as a volleyball player on a very good volleyball team at Claflin. Kind of record setting. And now she's gone through the ranks, been the assistant coach, the interim coach. Now she's been leading the charge. She has some experience to it now. Coach, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me again.
Oh, it's always our pleasure to have you. It's just unusual that I have just you. Usually I have a cadre of student athletes that people get a chance to know and get a chance to meet. We're sorry we weren't able to get your student on today.
Right.
Well, Coach, during this time of the year, people say it's a downtime for volleyball, but I know from coaching, you don't really have a downtime.
No, we probably had 2 months.
Okay. So tell us what you're doing now.
So right now we're in our spring season phase. We started after February 15th. And we'll go to, actually our last week is next week. So we'll go till next week. And then they'll be preparing to go home for the summer.
The school year's about to end, Coach?
Yes, it ends. So their finals is the last week of April, going into that, the first, maybe 2 or 3 days into May. Mm-hmm.
Wow. But I know that you've had a couple young ladies that made the all-academic team. Tell us about that.
Yes. So I had sophomore DS Layla Ham, and then also my graduating senior libero, Jasmine Kirkland, made the all-academic team.
Okay. Well, was one of those a repeat performer for you?
So I know last year we tried to nominate them. So actually getting them on it this year was great. So we've done it in the past, but this is like the first actual time they've been named to it.
Okay. Well, congratulations to the young ladies and to the program. Coach, tell us exactly what do you work on during the spring that helps prepare you?
So this spring, of course, is only returners. I don't really require my seniors to do the spring workouts, but definitely with the returners that are planning to return in the fall, we're working on, again, individuals, sharpening our techniques, looking back at some things that, we kind of could have sharpened a little bit in the fall. So in the spring phase, we're doing individuals. We're doing strength and conditioning with our strength coach, Coach Ashley. Working back on the basics, body management, correct form, building muscle so they can take that into the summer. And then also we're doing a team practice a week. So we're actually in team practice, going over drills that we've done in the fall to keep our core tight, and then also implementing some new things that we'll add into the fall.
Okay. I see that you've had, 2 seniors this year. Tell us about your seniors that spiked their last ball for Claflin.
Well, it's 3 of them. But Tanasia, she actually has a COVID year, so she'll be returning. Tanasia Robinson. But Kendall Perry, and then also Jasmine Kirkland, as we call her, KP. KP came in as a transfer. She was a right side at that time, her first year, and then transitioning into this past season that just ended, switch roles for her. She went to the outside position. We trained over the summer to, of course, on her downtime, for her to be able to play outside and play 6 rotations. So her going into that role was really prominent for us. She flourished very well. It wasn't a switch. I usually say pin to pin transition is not hard to switch from. So she definitely stepped into that. I'm gonna miss her leadership and her overall experience in this program. And then on to Jasmine Kirkland. Jasmine has been in this program for 4 years from the beginning. Freshman year, not being able to participate because of COVID, but her final 3 seasons, her going from not being a starting libero to stepping in that role once my senior libero Trinity Fierce graduated. She had some great role models before her, and she knew the expectation of what it was to be, you know, that libero, the starting libero, and also controlling the defense and serve receive. So definitely gonna miss her. She left her mark in this conference. Both of them actually did. This year we ranked statistically on the Division II stats. Something, you know, that I didn't see, but that's something, you know, I add into my recruiting, you know, us being ranked division on a divisional level. Statistically, Jasmine was ranked before, at the conclusion of the season, she was ranked 10th in the top 10 for digs. KP was ranked in service aces and digs. So definitely going to miss them. Of course, those who come behind them know the expectation and know what we've started. So it's just following and knowing that what's expected of from Jasmine and KP is the same thing I'm expecting for them.
Yeah, we've had Jasmine on the show, have we not?
We've had Jasmine twice, actually.
Yeah, look, personable young lady.
Yeah.
I know that she did a lot. She perhaps did more off the court than she even did on the court, which
yes, very active. That's what I preach also too. You know, you want them to be well-rounded. You know, I did the same thing as a student athlete, you know, not just being, you know, recognized on the court, but definitely, you know, connecting and networking with people outside, you know, because it looks good on your resume. And of course, she's going in the education field. So definitely having that experience and that background behind her is something that I always preach to all of them. You know, branch out, and it may be sometimes uncomfortable, but, you know, to be comfortable, you have to be uncomfortable.
Okay, well, we appreciate you allowing the fans and supporters of Claflin to get a chance to know your young ladies. You probably bring more of your student athletes onto the show than any other program that we have on the show, but we really have that opportunity to meet those young ladies, and we appreciate you bringing them with you.
Oh, thank you so much.
You know, now tell me, Coach, you by my information, you lose the nose, but you're gonna have a senior heavy team next year. It looks like you have a lot of juniors that have been with you, I assume. Coach, what are your expectations, and what do you think the advantages are in bringing that many young ladies in? It's going to be a pretty top-heavy senior class for you.
Right. So, of course, you know, they didn't have that many seniors to, you know, piggyback on, but they know the expectation. They've gotten their feet wet in this conference. A lot of them have come from schools close to the CIAA, so they know this competition level, but it's just getting some of them to step into some leadership roles because they are seniors. So I'm going to expect, you know, that leadership on the court from them. And definitely for those that are coming behind them, you know, it's a system. You know, seniors are playing for their legacy and juniors are playing for the seniors. So them knowing and them stepping up and putting the best out there from the beginning, because like I said, it is, you know, their senior year and we are a senior heavy team, but definitely them knowing like what the role and expectation is of being a senior. It's not a lot, you know, you think senior, you think, oh, you know, I'm in that captain role, you know, sometimes, but not necessarily. It's just basically knowing the expectation, know what goals you have for yourself and knowing what goals we have for the team and keeping those in the forefront at the beginning of it all.
Well, as they started to assume that role for you this year, even in your spring practice, did you see a difference in any of them in terms of how they interacted with the team and how they were in practice as opposed maybe to how they've been in the past?
Definitely. I know now, you know, in the beginning, you know, they tried to see, you know, exactly how the flow of, you know, workouts are, how the flow of team practice is, or how we conduct ourselves on travel. So I definitely seen some of them switch in roles a little bit, change a little bit, because they know, you know, what's expected of where they're supposed to be, what they're supposed to be doing in the workout. So I definitely have seen some changes in some of them. Some, you know, they probably don't want to completely step into that role or change all the way, but I have seen some changes.
Okay, this past year, you know, we've had some people from the CAB and the students and have really talked about how they wanted to make sure they made the jungle a place that people feared. As I was able to see some of the games as the season went on, it looked like it became a more hostile environment. Coach, what are your thoughts?
I wouldn't say hostile. I mean, because when we go to other schools for our away matches, it's kind of the same environment. Of course, personally, I like it because that's something, that gives, that extra push.
But Coach, that wasn't meant as a negative. That was meant as a positive. When they come in the gym, it's not supposed to be friendly. They're right. Supposed to not want to come to your gym, because I know there's some gyms you go in that, they kind of on you the minute you walk in the gym. So it just looks like it's really good to see that growing there at Claflin.
Right. It is. And I loved it. It started with us, and not because necessarily, we have those schools where they may be rivals, but the fact that they're into it with us, like they're neck and neck, point for point, telling us we got it, we're going to get it back. And then also, getting at, some of the players, trying to psych them out a little bit. And it helps. It definitely helps in those crucial point moments, especially when we're in those 5-setters. But yeah, I love it. I love it. The student athletes love it. It's just something that gives them that extra, like when you see them in the beginning, they start off, on fire. But when the crowd gets involved and now you're scoring points and, you're in it with your teammates and you guys are celebrating as a team and you got the jungle celebrating, it's like something like, I just love it. I love to see it. And our SAB and SGA, they and Dr. they do an amazing job. They've done an amazing job from the start of our season to basketball, and of course softball is getting some home games in, and baseball. So I love it.
Oh, it's exciting to see, and it hasn't always been that way. But to be able to look at it and see the growth in terms of the student support is what makes a place what it is. When the students get it crunk and get going, boy, Coach, I have seen those gyms pick up teams rather than the team have to pick up the gym. Right. You got a couple that they start dancing. You got groups up there dancing in the hall, in the stairway, and cutting up all on the rail. I've seen some stuff with them.
Yeah, and they, it's crazy because they teach those. We have school dances, so they teach those from the start of when freshmen move in. So they do that every year, so that when they come to these games and they have a certain song they come on, they have the dance ready.
But Coach, an integral part of each program is the ability to recruit. How has recruiting gone for you, even though you have not needed a large number, but with these large number of seniors you have in this class as coaches, I know you start to prepare so that when they leave, you'll have people that are ready to take some of those places and not have to rebuild.
Yeah, recruiting. Of course, when we're in season, that's when a lot of the high schools are playing. So we have that same schedule. But definitely once our season ends, December, I'm on the road. So I've put out quite a few fillers with some clubs that are here locally, some clubs that aren't here. I have club connects in Columbia, in Georgia. I have some in Florida. I have some in Maryland. So definitely letting them know, like, and especially with the recruits that send me their schedules, I definitely contact their coaches. So just letting them know, like, hey, our season is over. Give me a club schedule so I can make that trip to a tournament. So recruiting has been going good. It's usually, like I said, when we're in season, I don't have time to go out, but definitely when season is done, I go out. And it also, a lot of them get a break in their schedule, so they come here, and we schedule those visits around their like free time and stuff. So I get them to come on campus as well too.
Okay, well, Coach, tell me something now. Which one is more important to you, high school recruits or the club level participation? Which one have you found more successful for you?
Probably club, the travel ball circuit, because some, and I wouldn't say it's a disadvantage, but I have more recruits that do club, and sometimes they don't do high school ball. They do like the fall private training, but it gives me more to see. So I look at more of the club circuit for recruiting.
Because you're able to see more teams participate in one location.
Right.
A lot like basketball with AAU, you get to see a lot of people play and in a very competitive environment.
It is.
I noticed on your roster you have a young lady from Florida. I think she's from Daytona.
Yes, Tanasia Robinson. That's who will be coming back to use her COVID season. Yep.
Okay. How has it been for you reaching a little bit further south?
It's been good because I think for me with recruiting, once you know, the recruits see that I may have somebody, you know, from Florida or Georgia, they're not too far, you know, far away from each other. Like Tanasia's from Daytona. I had a recruit that was from Orlando. So they actually played kind of in the same club, but they never, you know, played on the same team. So they're still in the same area and they went to the same tournaments together. So it's just like, you know, once I recruit one, that connection starts. You know, they may know, you know, this certain coach at this high school, because that high school coach may have coached club for them or in the organization. So it definitely helps, you know, trying to connect and see when I'm recruiting, like who they may know, you know, and present that, you know, I had a player from this area, and then try to see, you know, who they know, if they know each other or if they know kind of like the teammates that they had in the past. So it definitely helps.
Yeah, because Daytona and Orlando are only about 45 miles apart. So I'm sure they ran into each other a lot like that. And Coach, has the COVID year that's been given to some of your student athletes, have you found that helps them some to have that extra year?
Yes, because most of the time they are, of course, graduating. So now this puts them in the realm of starting their masters. And I'm all for, again, postgraduate. That's something to add to their resume. Not just because, yes, I could use them, you know, athletically on the court, but then also, you know, talking to them, hey, you know, if we have the master's program, you know, in plan with what you're trying to do, you know, can I assist you with that? And of course, that's the conversation we had, because it's more so about academically first, you know, seeing if that's something that they're comfortable with doing, and not just playing, because now they're adding that extra layer of experience to them. And I say experience not because of athletically, but experience as far as preparing them for whatever job field they go into.
Okay. Well, as you prepare for next year, Coach, what are your goals? And I know being a former coach, we start real early on what we want to do and accomplish. What are some of the things that you're looking for that the past couple years and during your tenure there as a player at Claflin and coach at Claflin, you know, you should know most of the ropes through the league now. What is it that you're looking for that your experience is helping you to be able to accomplish?
Definitely still being able to create that player coach relationship outside of the realm of volleyball, and ensuring that anything they need once volleyball stops, they are prepared. So I'm still that, you know, person where if they need anything as far as recommendation letters or helping with internships and stuff like that. So that's a part of my goal too. But then also going into next year, we got to take some names. I mean, of course, Claflin, they know Claflin now, and we've already said that. So it's definitely getting back to being a top contender, putting our best selves out there every night, giving 110%. And that starts from practice. That starts from our individuals. That starts from our team meetings. And then, of course, sometimes me not having to step in and say anything as a coach, those seniors, those persons in leadership roles, knowing what the expectation is. So them putting their best selves out, even though sometimes we may not have the best days, but putting our best selves out there to compete day in and day out. And that's giving everything you have, and not just athletically, because we could talk athletics, but that's academics too. If you have that drive when you get up every day, that drive won't change. So having a drive every day, every time you put your mindset to do something, the drive won't change, and it'll translate. So your production, what you put in is what you're gonna get out. So if we producing and we're putting in work every day, it's gonna result in those wins and conference championships, and being in that conference championship atmosphere, because everybody has that goal at the end of the day. But it's really what you're doing, those small intangibles that are going to get you there.
Exactly, exactly. I love that enthusiasm. And one of the things I do know, again, being a former coach, what do you do to make sure that you don't fall in that rut of feeling like, you know, you've learned what you can learn and you're going to do it this way? What do you do to make sure that you keep it fresh within yourself and that you bring it each year for your team, something new to keep them going? How do you do self-enhancement, self-improvement? You know, and I know that I used to have my dad, who was a coach, and we would sit down and go over every tape,
right,
every game, and we would just go, and I would hear his voice in my ear showing me what we did wrong, what we didn't do. And, you know, we would go to coaching clinics and go to different seminars. You know, what do you do now? I'm an old school coach, so they probably don't do all that now. But what do you do to try to keep it fresh for you?
I definitely still go to seminars. I go to, if I don't have to, not have to, if it's virtually or in person, because some of the clinics and seminars that I go to, they give you the option of doing in person or going, and sometimes they just only have the virtual option. So I definitely try to get in as much seminars, workshops, clinics as I can. But just like you said, your dad, my mom is invested into it, so she'll sit down and watch film with me. My godmom is a high school coach. She coaches club as well. So I'm calling her, getting her feedback on something, or I have her look at, this certain rotation or this certain blocking sequence. So she definitely helps. And then I have several mentors that I could just call and just be like, look, hey, I just need you to really just tell me what is it that you see, or what is it that, you may be going through, or if you went through this situation, help me, give me your best practices of how you got through it. So I'm going to clinics. I'm calling in those, who have been supportive of me, and seeing, picking their brains. And then also the coaches here, even though we don't coach the same sports, we're going through the same thing. So just getting advice and just having kind of like that round table talk to kind of get feelers out and see, how they use, certain practices to kind of help the situation and make it better.
Oh, Coach, that's key. You said something there when you talked about the coaches there that are on staff. Even if it's a different sport, coaches know coaching, and they pick up body language. They pick up attitudes. They pick up those individuals who really want to do certain things. And I know from having coached women that sometimes I can just look and tell if there's an internal problem or not.
Right.
Oh, it's and you could look at it and say, you got a problem with something, because it's just not there. And conversely, you could just look at a team and say, Coach, at the end of the day, they're giving you everything they got. They are absolutely fighting and clawing for you, Coach. It just didn't fall their way, but they're doing everything in them, and they're taking it extremely hard when they're not successful. But Coach, they haven't quit on you. They playing for you.
Right.
So I love the fact that, again, I say all the time at Claflin that it really is very, very close, and that the teams and individuals and staff is close, So, Coach, what do you want for somebody who has a student athlete? How can they get in touch with you? What would you advise them to do?
So I definitely would advise them to already have their NCAA eligibility account already created, because that is something, if you're wanting to be recruited by any Division 1, 2, or 3 level institution, you definitely have to have that. If you have your transcripts, your test scores, I definitely would love for you to send that information to me, coaches or student athletes, I would prefer it come from the student athlete that's interested in our institution. And then also, if you have highlight film, game film, I want to see your game film, not just the good stuff. I want to see actual stuff, of you diving for a ball, that may not be in the pocket of the setter's box, or you attacking a ball and you getting coverage behind it. So I don't want to just see you getting the good kill or the good ace. I want to see actual like gameplay of how you maneuver, how you react, with your teammates and coaches. So definitely highlight game film, your test scores, your transcripts, and definitely that NCAA eligibility account. And then also, NCAA is also requiring you have your sickle cell test results. So that is something that we need as well. Now there's NCAA is starting to pass it down in high school. So that's something also I need to for you to be able to participate in intercollegiate athletics.
Okay, thank you for that, Coach. What about transfers? Is it the same thing for those students in the transfer portal?
So transfers, usually if you're in the transfer portal, I'll probably need, of course, game film if I haven't seen you, because, of course, sometimes I kind of have feelers in wherever they're coming from, or I could just make a call and try to get a connect. But game film, highlight film, and not test scores, but definitely transcripts, because you have to have a certain requirement of credits transfer over. So I definitely need those to count those credits, and then also look at your math, sciences, and Englishes that need to transfer over to.
Well, Coach, as you're coming to a close for this year and getting ready to start on the, I can't believe about to say, on the 24-25 season.
Yes.
Yes. What would you like to say to your supporters and fans out there as we get ready to close?
As always, I definitely say if you can log on to our Claflin Athletics website, we have our Claflin Volleyball Instagram. Always check for updates if we're in your area. I'm finishing up our schedule for the 24 season. So if we're in your area, we're always in the Fayetteville area, the Winston-Salem area. If you see Claflin Volleyball, definitely our games are always at 6 p.m. There's 6 p.m. here in the jungle. So if you see our schedule, if you see us posting, if you see our athletics page posting, always support all of Claflin Athletics.
Well, we most definitely appreciate that. And you're hearing it from herself, Coach Chy, the Claflin volleyball legend. Yes. As always, we appreciate you being on the show. And this time without your student athletes, which we do miss.
Yes.
We appreciate getting a chance to hear from you exactly what your expectations are for your program.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach Chy. We wish you good luck. Enjoy your summer. And there's a lot going on during the summer. I'll probably see you.
Yes. Make sure you guys come to the Paws Up Golf Classic. Me and Mr. Mickey always connect there. So our Paws Up golf tournament is coming very soon. It is in July. So look out for that information as well.
Thank you for saying that, because we have teams, one for some guys from Maryland, a couple of them from here that are already asking about it. And they said, Coach, we go to Santee and golf. So we want to know. We need some details because we want to go. So,
oh yeah,
we appreciate y'all and the support. And once again, Coach Chy, we appreciate you and continued success. And I will see you this summer.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mickey.
Thank you, Coach.
For a limited time only, the first 500 downloads of the INSiiGHTS app will get free premium content for life. Watch the Mick and Rick Show, Black History Moments, Remembering the Legends, INSiiGHTS Magazine, Faith TV, along with the Game of the Week series. See INSiiGHTS creative content with skits from the Church Sisters, students in generations, and more. The INSiiGHTS app is on your Android and iPhone and is now being downloaded in countries worldwide.
Graduated in 1992, and I've been here since 1992. And I started working at the Toyota dealership in 1992, and I've been there ever since. Now I'm the general manager, I run the store, and again, Claflin University has always given back to our dealership That's why we want to give back to them. A great partnership. We love the partnership. We love Claflin University, and we will always support them.
This week's episode of the Claflin Athletic Show is now on INSiiGHTS Roku and INSiiGHTS mobile apps. Follow us, support the Claflin Panthers.
And the gaming lounge is going to be a popular place as well.
It definitely will be. So in addition to our game room, the esports lounge is going to be, we'll have 14 stations. We're going to be building, will eventually come our esports team that will travel and play other schools and compete for cash prizes, compete for trophies and championships. Realistically, it started out that piece. Eric Miner was a student we had a couple years ago that won the NFL game day Madden challenge and was able to attend the Super Bowl based on his skills in esports. And he's actually a professional esports player now. And so being able to go from just having one student to now the possibilities of really being able to build an esports club and then team is
So you don't have to have artificial intelligence or AI to use a robot, but the two coupled together makes it much more powerful, because now you're getting some more robust decision making, more on the spot actions, and that's what makes the AI makes the robotics stronger.